Remote production is very much the norm now. Even before the COVID restrictions were in place, broadcasting high quality images from remote locations had become commonplace. Phone footage really was a last resort.
Yeah, and whether it's a sporting event, riots, war zones, elections from village halls, or even just entertainment, getting live content as it happens to our screens is expected. And there's a number of very effective solutions out there, with a few standing out.
We were reminded of one such product that we cover at trade shows when we speak to Erwin or Florian, depending on what continent we're on. But this time, to tell us a bit more about how he's been using the AVIWEST BeOnAir solution, we'd like to welcome Simon Beer. Hi, Simon. So, first of all, give us a complete and concise rundown of BeOnAir and how you've been using it.
Of course. So, I don't know about complete and concise, but I'll do my best. So this is it. This is the BeOnAir encoder. And what it is it's a bonded cellular encoder. So it's got two built-in modems. You've got two USB, so you can plug two external USB modem sticks into it, Ethernet and Wi-Fi. So you can bond up to a total of 6 connections. So although you can use it in a studio with one, it's great to use on location. So wherever you may be outside, even in an area which doesn't have particularly good 4G coverage, which is where I am right now in Norfolk. I did a test the other day with this, and this was getting a signal where my iPhone wasn't. So it does work. What the BeOnAir does, in layman's terms, very basically, it enables you to plug in a camera via SDI or HDMI, and then broadcast it either to an internet destination, which could be Facebook, YouTube Live, Vimeo, Boxcast, any of those, but also via the Stream Hub, which is part of the BeOnAir package. I'll come back to that in a second. You can also send it to a broadcaster who might have a physical or a cloud Stream Hub. So it's a bit of a 2-in-1 device, but it does have other functions as well.
So is it effectively a bundle of products, or is it a standalone, Simon?
No, so BeOnAir comprises of 3 parts. So the first and the most physical, I suppose, is going to be the BeOnAir, the Air 220 encoder.
Yeah.
You've also got an app called Mojo Pro for your iOS or Android device. And then you've got Stream Hub as well. And Stream Hub's really important, as it's the bit that sits in the cloud that then takes your data and then sends it on to destinations.
So if you've got the, you say there's a cloud service, do I, as a user, I've got the Air 220, I've bought BeOnAir. Does that mean that there's a subscription charged? Is it an ongoing service you have to pay for, or do you get it for a period of time once you just buy the product?
So So when you buy the bundle, the BeOnAir bundle to start with, which is £2,250 plus VAT, you get a year's worth of Stream Hub. And then after that stage, you have to pay per year for the Stream Hub service, which is similar with other providers as well, who offer a bonding solution. Effectively, what happens with AVIWEST is you're using their protocol, SST, which then at the Stream Hub end collects all those different bonds, all the different internet connections, and puts them back together again. Also, where the Stream Hub really sort of comes into its own as well, is that it can stream to multiple destinations. So you can stream out to 5 destinations at any one time. And previous to that, I've been using an online service which is $490 a year to achieve just that, really.
So you mentioned 4G early on, Simon. The big buzzword at the moment is 5G. What's the support like for that going forwards? So
the Air 220 is the model that comes in the BeOnAir bundle. There is an Air 320, but that's not within BeOnAir, but that does support 5G. It's not something I've really spoken to AVIWEST a lot about. I mean, in Norfolk, we're lucky to get 4G, I'll be quite honest. The dream of 5G is a long way off. So it hasn't come on my radar massively at the moment. I know with 4G, like this, 2.5 meg gives you an HD upload, megabits per second gives you an HD upload. And I mean, that's really, quite doable. The AVIWEST, one of the other strengths of this unit, is it can stream up to 20 megabits a second. I was just messing around with it the other day to see how badly I could, make the picture look, and I was really struggling. Even sending a 250 kilobit a second stream up was amazingly good, considering. But what the Stream Hub does there is you can choose to encode it. So the Stream Hub, as well as sending to destinations, also has got an encoder. And the way that the BeOnAir unit works is if it's in an area with a lower quality cell signal, it will scale back the resolution. So although you might be sending PAL or half PAL resolution, you can encode it up to HD. And as the signal strength improves, the quality of your picture improves until it gets up to HD again.
Yeah, so the codecs you're implementing there, they're less variable bit rate, so to speak. So what codecs is in the 220? What's
so
giving you?
So the 220 is 264. Some of the other more expensive units,
Right,
which will do 5G, also do HEVC, but unfortunately that isn't something within this offering. I mean, considering the price point, I think, it's really quite expensive if you compare it to other people's options, which really don't do half of what this does. I did say it does something else as well, and that is it also works as a store and forward device. So you can record onto your camera, or you can record internally to the BeOnAir, which has got an SD card.
Cool.
Then you can store and forward up to the Stream Hub. And what I thought was quite well thought out was that the Stream Hub's got an admin login. So, as a user, you'll go in and you'll change your settings and do what you want it to do. But also it has a guest login. So, for example, if I'm out in the field working for you, and I don't want you to go in and, fiddle with all my settings, I can give you the guest login. I can film something, store and forward it up there, and then you can download it, wherever you are. And that's quite nice that my client doesn't need to have their own Stream Hub. I can let them in, but at a lesser extent, where they can only access the File Explorer and download files I send them. One other thing I should probably point out that it does as well, which is pretty cool, is that if you send a file via store and forward to the Stream Hub, to the File Explorer, you can then choose that as an input so that you can then go live from the file to 5 destinations. So with BeOnAir, you can either go live to internet or broadcasters via your phone. You can use BeOnAir hardware unit itself, or if you've stored and forwarded some video, you can go live from that as well. Now, the live video that plays out from the File Explorer needs to be recorded on the unit itself, but you can, because I've played with this, you can shoot, edit in Final Cut Pro, and then put your final package on the SD card, and then store and forward to File Explorer, where you can then download it as well.
What type of work have you been using it for, Simon, and how have you found the battery life?
So, not as much work as I'd like to be using it for at the moment, I'll be quite honest. It's a strange time, and a lot of the stuff I do are live events, and as you know, that's all on its knees at the moment. I've been having a lot of tests. I've been playing with it a lot. I did a sort of a piece to camera the other day, which was for the web, so it wasn't anything particularly exciting. But battery life, I mean, it's good. I think they say it's about 2 hours. This was a short stream, so it went nothing like that. It does come with a charger, so you can power it up with mains. It has got replaceable batteries, which a lot of other streaming encoders don't seem to have, although you wouldn't really want to swap that in the middle of a stream. But what you can do is you can power it off with DTAP batteries. It's got a DTAP to it's a Hirose or Limo connector, so you can run it off. It's also got a car battery charger, so you can power it off of a cigarette socket if you want to. Those are optional extras. You've got a unit, it comes with a mains charger, but it does give you that flexibility that you can charge it from other things in the field as well.
How does the Mojo Pro software? Well, how does that come into it? What does it release? What does it enable? What does it help you do?
So the whole idea with the Mojo Pro, and this is, I think they've really hit the nail on the head because they've got it very right, is it's very, very simple. You can use the photo or video app on your smartphone. You can use Mojo Pro, and what you can do with Mojo Pro is you can install it from the App Store, and then without having to really be very technical, you just need to know an IP address. You can type that in, and then you can connect. And what that is good for is, I could give you my IP address and password, and you could download Mojo Pro. You don't need a license for it. I could give it to 20, 30 people, as many people as I wanted to. The only restriction is you can only connect one of those at any one time to your streamer. So as long as you know who's sending you that footage, you could do that. But you could use that for someone who might be in the field, and they could go live for you without having to have the BeOnAir hardware with you.
So you mentioned, Simon, that you'd used a few other cellular solutions, shall we say, in the past. What, in your opinion, makes the BeOnAir stand out?
So there's a few things. So first of all, internal modems. Let's talk about hardware first. Internal modems. You've got SDI in. You've also got an SDI out loop through. You've got HDMI in and HDMI out. If you have this not as part of BeOnAir, but as a standalone broadcast encoder, you've also got a video return on it. You've also got audio inputs and outputs, and just silly things, locking connectors for HDMI. Not many people have got locking HDMI cables, but it does have locking HDMI connector and locking power connectors. Nothing's going to blouse it, really. The other things that I like about this, as I say, built-in modems on it, silly things. It's got a tripod thread, quarter network thread underneath, which some do, some don't. You can get it with, I've got one here, it's with a pouch to hold it so that you can wear it, as a shoulder strap. There's a lot of different ways to sort of use it. But what I like about it is the extra things that you've got in there as well, like the store and record, like the ability, if you want to send your video not just to the web, but to a broadcaster. And for a device that's costing just over £2,000, that's that's sort of pretty much stand out. That's its own kind of little area there. AVIWEST do have a broadcast pedigree, and this unit isn't something that's been built ground up as a consumer product. It has really, if anything, had a few features restricted on it, so that it can be sold for that subsidised price. One of the features that you'll see in the menus that won't work on this is the ability to use this as a Wi-Fi hotspot, where you could then bond all your connections and get a greater internet speed in the field from this, but you can't connect any devices to it. So, there are a few things taken out, but for that price, the benefits you get are, they do outweigh that most certainly.
That's fascinating. Well, let's, I hope really that we're going to actually be able to see AVIWEST and you at a show soon. You never know.
Well,
I'd love to a bit more and actually get hands on it.
But it's looking doubtful. It's all online,
Something will happen. Something will happen. Look,
live events will be back soon, Simon. Don't worry.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
We'll be there. We'll be there. And as I say, we do look forward to seeing you. So thank you very much for coming in, and thanks also to Mediaproxy for their support making these shows possible. You can check more out about them at mediaproxy.com. See you next time.